people in our district, as well as many folks in Texas, have strong thoughts on border security and immigration. How do you feel about the immigration policy and the lack of security on the border?
Well, the immigration policy, there's nothing wrong with the policy, but it's not being enforced. That's the problem. I can't sit here and explain to you how, after September 11, 2001, why we do not have coast-to-coast fences along both our northern and southern borders. I can't explain it to you. There is no justification for it. And it has nothing to do with the dislike of the Canadians, has nothing to do with the dislike of our friends in Mexico. It's a simple security measure. There's a number of things that have to be done. Number one, fund the necessary money. This is where I will DV off message. I'm for spending money on that. We need the feet on the ground. We need to have the intelligence on the ground for that. They need to have the necessary security hardware. They need to have the necessary military hardware. And they need to have the authorization to do what's necessary to secure that border, including to, and not limited, the use of deadly force. If people coming across that border know that their life's in jeopardy, I think they rethink that decision.
And potentially go through the proper channels.
That's right.
To gain.
That's right.
To gain the ground.
Now, in terms of immigration, I think we need to be very clear on immigration. We're a nation of immigrants. As a nation of immigrants, we don't want to sound hypocritical. Okay, immigration is a very important aspect of our history in terms of legal immigration. We get good minds over here. It enriches our society. We get improvements from it. Illegal immigration is a whole other issue. It violates our laws. It erodes our tax base, and it has a negative impact on our ability to provide social services. So that's a problem. Now, there's a myriad of arguments as to why we've let this happen. One of the problems that I have is giving benefits or rights to people that are illegal aliens in this country. We've got to close those loopholes. If you close the loopholes and you secure the borders, I think it will begin to have a process that we'll want to see in the immigration issue. For example, I don't believe you should be able to own a business or own property if you're an illegal alien. But there are loopholes that exist right here today that allow that to happen. Now, that needs to be exposed to the American public. They need to know the companies that are doing this so they can make a decision whether or not they want to continue to do business with those companies. The other problem, and it's a big problem I have, is the way our country is currently interpreting the 14th Amendment. I don't agree with the interpretation that you can come to our country, have your child here, and it's a citizen. And I'll read this, why I disagree with this. If you read the 14th Amendment, here's how it goes. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. Now, if you're subject to the jurisdiction, that has an implication. If you're an infant, that means that your parents are probably citizens. Now, that's my interpretation of it. I'd like to see some real bright constitutional lawyer challenge this issue to the Supreme Court because, in my opinion, this is something that we've let go far too long.